I'm Kim, the Abundant Traveler, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I put out laid-back luxury travel videos inspiring you to buy that plane ticket, get on that catamaran, and go see the world. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back by. I really appreciate your support. Remember, if you're new, click subscribe, that's the red button below. Give this video a thumbs up and ring that notification bell. This video is everything that you need to know when booking a cabin charter on a yacht or a catamaran for doing a sort of 3 to 5 to 7 day tour anywhere in the world. So stay tuned. I've got great tips, ideas, and suggestions for you so you don't want to miss any of it. I am sitting on the dock in one of the marinas in Palermo, Sicily, and I have just gotten off a catamaran trip, cabin charter, with Intersail Club. It is a wonderful company, and they have over 1,500 charters around the world. So if you're interested in looking at their website or booking one of their trips, go to the description below. I have left a link with a small discount for you. So let's go ahead and get started about the things that you need to know. First of all, with a cabin charter, number one, are you going to have your own bathroom? Some of the charters have extra bedrooms, but maybe 5 bedrooms, but only 3 bathrooms. I definitely think that a week-long trip, you're gonna wanna have your own bathroom. Just saying. Something else to know and things to ask when you are booking your trip. Are they going to provide towels for you, as in to take a shower? Are they going to provide beach towels to you? Are they going to be providing quick dry towels for you? Also, are they going to be providing bed linens for you or not? Some of these charters are bare bones and quite basic, whereas some of them are quite luxurious, where you have an entire staff taking care of everything for you.
Speaking of the team that's in charge of the boat,
you want to have a well-trained, lots of experienced skipper, because out there in the middle of a sea or an ocean, you just don't know what might happen. The winds may change, Mother Nature takes over, you don't know where you're headed, and you don't know what can happen on one of these boats as well. It's quite easy to slip and fall or get tied up in, the rigging or something. So you want to make sure that your skipper is well experienced. The other person that you need to know whether you have or not on your charter is, are you going to have a cook or a chef? And a person typically who is a cook and the chef is also the maid that cleans up your rooms each morning. On my cabin charter, we did not have a cook or anybody to clean our rooms, so we cleaned our own sort of midweek. But what I really loved about not having a cook on board was the group of us. There were 8 in total. There were 3 Italians, 1 English, 1 French living in Italy, 2 Americans, and we all got together and cooked. It was a wonderful experience. It was a lot of fun. It was sometimes challenging because of different cultures and different food styles, but in the end, it created this most wonderful community around the dinner table and in the kitchen. Perhaps you, if you like to cook and don't mind cooking for a big group of people, then perhaps you want to have a cabin charter that does not have a cook or chef on it. It was a lot of fun. I wouldn't say I'd always do it, but on this particular charter, it was fantastic. Since I'm talking about food and cooking, some of the things you need to ask in advance about what is included financially and not included. You need to find out if there needs to be a kitty added on top of your costs. That kitty might be for food, for port charges, for gasoline, for all of the things as you're on your trip, and you need to know if you're going to have to pay extra. For us, our kitty was 200 euros, and by the time we were done, I had spent about 225 euros. That was buying food for everybody, or my portion, food for everybody, port fees, and gasoline. It worked out really well. It was perfect for us, and I was prepared to pay 200 to 250 euros because I thought that's what it would take. If you're considering a cabin charter or a yacht charter, make sure to watch my video about everything that you need to pack while you're on that trip. I promise you, you don't need 3/4 of the things you think you're gonna need. It's basically bathing suits, sarongs, cover-ups, flip-flops, and quick dry towels. And snorkel gear. But definitely watch the video because it gives all of the details and extra tips as well. Also, if you're interested in more details and a deeper dive on everything travel, make sure to go to the link below and click Join the Tribe. That is my exclusive email list where I share additional tips and tricks and hacks, as well as discounts and ideas for your next trip. So, description below, join the tribe. Let's talk a little bit about the physical boat now. My recommendation is no smaller than 14 meters or 45 feet. I also, as I mentioned previously in this video, you want to have a cabin that has your own bathroom. Something else to think about, if you're tall like me, I'm 5'11", and those cabins are quite small. I could barely stretch out in my bed, and the two beds are smaller than twin size beds, and my girlfriend and I shared the cabin. So if you like a little extra room, perhaps you want to pay the single supplement upgrade so you have your own space. Also, with the physical boat, my personal preference is with a catamaran. A catamaran has the two floats, one on each side, and it is more stable than a sailboat or a yacht. A little less movement because I still get some motion sickness. Not terrible, but a little bit. So I think a catamaran is more stable. When you have white caps and you're doing long distances sailing, a catamaran is the way to go. It also keeps people on opposite sides. If you perhaps don't have the best group of people, you have some on one side and some on the other. Also, things on the boat you want to think about. You want to make sure that it has a generator. Probably the most important thing that you're going to need a generator for is AC. If it's super hot in the middle of the summer, you want to have access to AC in your room because it can get stifling hot when there is no wind and you are just stuck in a cove. It's really nice. So you want to make sure that the boat has a desalinization apparatus because you never know, you might run out of water, fresh water that is, and not be close to port. So you want to have that as an option just in case.
Are you curious about what to pack on a catamaran trip? Well, go to the description below and click my free download. It's a great packing guide and it includes everything you're going to need.
In your rooms, you also want to check and see if your catamaran has bunk beds, upper, lower, or if you're side by side. Our catamaran was side by side and it worked perfectly, but you are actually the person closer to the wall is climbing over the person closer to the door each time they have to get in and out of bed. Of course, if you are on a bunk bed, somebody is climbing up over the other person. So it's just your personal preference. And also, if you're a couple, perhaps you don't want to have bunk beds and you want to sleep side by side. So definitely something to ask. Let's talk a little bit about the itinerary now. My preference is to spend as much time as possible island hopping, where you're not spending 7 to 8 hours sailing each day unless you're a big sailor. For us, we left Palermo and then we went straight out 7 hours, and then for the next 7 nights we only traveled about an hour between the different islands and the different coves, and it was fantastic because we spent most of the time anchored or in the ports just cruising around and enjoying our vacation. With long days of sailing, you're at risk with Mother Nature. Sometimes she sends you white caps and rain, sometimes she sends you very still seas, sometimes it's very, very rough, so bring your boning. Definitely if you get motion sickness. I think the best thing to do is to look at an itinerary that is island hopping or cove hopping and not long distances between your port and your final destination and then back. Just my opinion. The final thing to check with the company like Intersail Club is who is going to be on that boat with you. Are you looking for a big party with people drinking a lot? Are you looking for a meditation yoga retreat? Are you looking for younger people, older people? I mean, perhaps you want to go to Croatia to Yacht Week where it's a big party, or you want to go in the middle of the summer to Ibiza and Formentera and have a big party. Are you perhaps like me and 50, and even though you like a glass of wine, you want a more quiet, casual, laid-back trip? Something you definitely want to ask when you're doing a cabin charter and you're renting the whole boat. Who cares? It's all about you. But when you're with a group of people that you don't know, you definitely want to check it out and ask if you can get any additional information on your other guests with you on the boat. So that sums up my no before you go on a cabin charter anywhere in the world, and specifically on a catamaran. If you have any recommendations or suggestions or tips, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I like to read them as well as other people watching this video. I am Kim, the Abundant Traveler, and I cannot wait to go on another Intersail Club cabin charter somewhere else, first in the Mediterranean and in the Caribbean and in Malaysia and where else they're gonna go. I mean, they do have 1,500 options. So again, I'm Kim, the Abundant Traveler, and I'll see you very soon on some amazing catamaran trip. Bye now. Mwah.